Dennis Klein was a simple man, a man of numbers and bottom lines, an accountant from Edgewood, New Mexico, just trying to make a decent living. But that night, that black-bellied stormy night on Route 66, Dennis became something else. He became the first of many. He had been listening to the radio, some late-night station, voice crackling between thunderclaps, when he saw the lights. At first, he thought it was some kind of weird roadside illusion, maybe reflections off the wet pavement. But then, the shape resolved. A Cadillac, an old one, 1950s model, its chrome shimmering like polished bone, and it glowed, not with headlights or neon, but from something deep inside its frame. A pale, unnatural radiance. Dennis's heart knocked hard against his ribs. His first thought, marketing gimmick, maybe some showpiece for a dealership or a promotional event. But the way it moved, slow, steady, impossibly smooth, it set his teeth on edge. He hit the gas, past it. And that was when he saw the driver. A skeleton. A glowing, goddamn skeleton, fingers curled tight around the wheel, grinning as it steered through the rain. Dennis lost control. His tires screeched, fish-tailed. The Cadillac loomed in his windshield, its headlights swallowing the world whole. And then he was through. Dennis Klein never made it home to Edgewood. The first death was just a mystery, a tragic accident. But soon, there were others. First 10, then 100, then 1,000. They were calling them ghost cars. Nobody knew where they came from. Nobody knew what they wanted. They just drove, steady, unstoppable. They obeyed speed limits, adhered to traffic laws, but never stopped, never turned off their engines. And if you touched one, if you so much as brushed a fender, you were gone. Within weeks, news stations ran nothing else. Footage rolled endlessly, glowing cars slipping through city streets, unscathed by bullets, unmoved by barricades. The military tried to stop them. Police shot at their tires. Nothing worked. Nothing ever worked. A tank round struck one of them in New York. The explosion lit up Times Square like the 4th of July, and when the smoke cleared, the Cadillac just kept rolling, undamaged, unbothered. Governments scrambled for solutions. Scientists tried EMPs, lasers, acid, controlled explosions. Psychics were even brought in, but most of them died screaming. And all the while, the ghost cars multiplied. By the second month, 1 million of them roamed the world. The streets became no man's land. The economy collapsed. Grocery stores were stripped bare. The world shrank into apartments, into basements, into boarded-up homes where the sound of engines humming outside became an omen of death. But people are people, and fear makes them desperate. Cults began to form. They called the entities lords of the road. Some knelt on sidewalks, arms spread wide, waiting for the impact that would take them to ghost car heaven. Some threw their children in front of them like offerings. The ghost cars didn't stop. They never stopped. And then the first ghost walker appeared. It was in Chicago. A security camera caught the footage at dawn. A single glowing figure, skeletal, luminescent, walking. It passed through walls as easily as wind through an open window. Didn't slow, didn't hesitate. It had no eyes, no flesh, no heart, only motion. And where one came, more would follow. People thought they were safe inside, that doors and walls and bricks would protect them. They were wrong. Cities fell silent. Where once there was the constant roar of traffic, the hum of people moving, now there was nothing but an eerie, unnatural stillness. Streets lay abandoned, save for the ceaseless procession of the glowing Cadillacs, weaving through intersections, rolling past broken traffic lights, oblivious to the human world they were dismantling. Food ran out. Gasoline dried up. People fought, looted, killed over scraps. The ghost cars didn't care. They just kept moving. And then the walkers began to multiply. 1 became 10. 10 became hundreds. The glowing skeletons roamed through buildings, through homes, indifferent to walls and doors, untouched by bullets. People locked themselves in attics, in basements, whispering prayers to whatever God would listen. Some tried to run, but there was nowhere left to go. A researcher in Tokyo theorized they weren't just ghosts. They were something older, something primal, a force of nature we had disturbed, something awakened by the endless sprawl of highways and roads stretching across the world like veins, the Earth's response to our ceaseless movement. But by then, theories didn't matter. The world belonged to them. A year passed. Those who remained lived in the shadows, scurrying between hiding places, scavenging what little remained. The roads, once lifelines of civilization, were now death traps. Some whispered of resistance, of underground bunkers filled with survivors, but no one knew if they were real. And the walkers? They never stopped, never spoke, never acknowledged the dwindling humans watching them from behind boarded-up windows. They just walked, and the ghost cars just drove, and the world belonged to them now.